welcome to the worst show on the internet. And look at me, I shaved. Look at that. Woo! Is that what I look like under there? I should have left that shit on, man. I look like crap. I look like a fat guy. That's what I look like. That's what I am, actually. But yes, welcome to episode number 12 of DTV. Hope you guys are ready for some action. Today, we gonna be talking about the whole Me Poo movement. The Me Poo movement is happening. How all of us are definitely like libs of TikTok, like for sure. You know, we talk about that Johnny Depp lawsuit. We got some news about that dude that shot that one person and said that it wasn't his fault. Another dude who shot another person. We just got like news for days. So hello to y'all out there in the chat. Bishop, Susu, Virginia Olsen, MD Mon, Edmond 7, Peter Harrington. Yeah. So hopefully you guys are well. Things have been getting stranger and stranger in the world, and we're all just trying to figure out what the hell's happened, because literally stuff is being talked about now that's ridiculous. Everybody's sensitive about what everybody else is saying. It's kind of a crazy situation. All day today, though, the Me Poo movement has had me embroiled in the what the hell is going on Twitter movement in the world. And I was over on the Twitter and I put in hashtag Me Poo, and well, I started seeing some real interesting shit. Literally. Shits the bed and blames it on the dogs. How low can you go? Hashtag Me Poo. Hashtag Amber Turd. She brought up the fecal matter in our bed and tried to blame it on the dogs. They're teacup Yorkies. They weigh 4 pounds each. That did not come from the dog. And that was Johnny Depp while he was sitting in the courtroom talking about his lawsuit and why he's suing his ex-wife, Mrs. Amber Heard, or now forever colloquially going to be known as, I guess, Amber Turd, and discussing how she may or may not have released the feces on the marital bed and then tried to blame it on the dogs, which is kind of insane. I mean, there's just been like a lot of insane things that happen, and I mean, this is probably gonna take the cake, because we've heard about all kinds of stuff with celebrities and how we love their lives and how we want to know every little bit of thing about them. But, I mean, just imagine being Amber Heard and then being accused of shitting in a bed, and that's the thing that's trending, and basically not anything else. I mean, I want to remind people that there's not just accusations about Amber Heard perped in Depp's bed. There's pictures. Yeah, there's pictures. So, I mean, what can you really say? Did any other, like, big information come out of this whole entire thing? Well, I mean, Amber Heard did admit that she actually punched Johnny Depp, and that was in a courtroom. She admitted that she punched him and called him a effing poonie, or pussy, I guess. If we can say pussy, right? We can still say pussy? Can we? I don't know. I kind of want to say it, but I don't want to get, thought of being not good for children, because, you're not supposed to be talking about all that stuff. But yeah. We have the turd heard round the world. And, if you don't think that was trending, it was definitely trending, actually. It was definitely trending to the point that apparently Twitter actually had to remove it for being a trending item, because obviously they didn't want everybody to be like Me Poo, even though everybody shits, guys. Everybody shits. Every single one of you watching this show right now, I know you take shits. You can't lie to me that you're not doing that sort of thing. You can't say that. No. I mean, if you don't take shits, you could die. But everybody shits. Even your dog, your mom, your dad, your girlfriend, whoever. So it's like they're putting the Me Too and the Me Poo over here. At least as I've been kind of looking at this whole entire particular thing. I mean, think about it. We're all poo. And we're all Johnny Depp in just a small little way, right? Just a little bit. How many men have been abused by their wives and their wives have gotten away with it? It's an epidemic, I tell you. And I remember back in the day, wasn't it always men that were beating on women, and now the women are beating on men, and the men are crying about it in court and shit? Like, think about this. Like, men have become real betas. Like, Johnny Depp is supposed to be like the man's man, but in actuality, kind of seems like he's a little more beta than anybody ever cared to notice. Like, are you afraid of him now? I'm not. Nope, not. I did not punch you. I was hitting you. Amber Heard admits to getting violent with Johnny Depp in audio recording played during defamation trial as she told him to grow up and he was an effing baby. Wah! Johnny Depp, you're an effing baby. So, I mean, that's pretty crazy when you really think about it, defamation. I'm not sure exactly how defamation wraps up into your wife punching you and shit, but then again, he is suing her for defamation for like all those lies that made him lose all of that money and all those like successful roles that he was in over time, like, you know, the Pirates of the Caribbean, so on and so forth. I mean, $50 million ain't no small chunk of cheese, my knees. I mean, and it's all about that Washington Post article. Wait a minute. The Washington Post? When was the last time that we talked about the Washington Post? I feel like we were just talking about the Washington Post yesterday. And that one journalist, or is it the Bezos Post? I'm not exactly sure. What has Jeff Bezos got against Johnny Depp? Is it the fact that Johnny Depp's got a bigger weenie than he does, and that makes him angry, and that's why he's helping people that suck go after people that suck less? I don't know. But what I do know is that it's pretty shocking. It's even more shocking that Amber Heard is countersuing Johnny Depp for $100 million, claiming that he libeled her by calling her a liar. And it's really funny now because it's like, well, bitch, you should have probably said something about him saying you shit in his bed or your colloquial marital bed. Like, shouldn't it be about that? Because, you know, now that's coming out in court and shit, you can't sue him for libel for saying that he shat in your bed and you blamed it on the dogs, which to me seems like way bigger than just calling somebody a liar. I mean, that is a pretty direct situation, and, I mean, what could we really say or do? I mean, Johnny Depp, is he going to win this case? Is he going to get that $50 million from Amber Heard, or is there going to be some even stranger that's going to be happening in this one? And honestly, I couldn't tell you, though. But what I can tell you is that her career is fucking over. They're going to be all like, yeah, Amber, you can come over, but if you shit in my bed, it's all over. It is all fucking over.
That's the promise you gave me a little while ago. I'm telling you, if you lost memory last night of kicking me out the door with hitting me,
again,
and your memory is gone from you kicking the bathroom door and hitting me in the skull as I was bent down.
I am
Wait,
sorry.
if you have those memory, divots.
I was upset. There was a lot going on, and I was on an Ambien. Like,
Okay,
why are you obsessing over the fact that I can't?
I was on Ambien and I can't remember physically assaulting you.
The way you remembered it. I said I was sorry. I didn't deny it.
You get some Ambien.
What I wanted to Travis,
Yeah.
I said to
Get
you,
some Ambien.
hey, tell Travis what just happened.
You told me to do it. You told me to. You said, go do that.
I said, no, tell him what just happened.
And I lied.
And that you punched me in the thing. And
You figured
in
it
the
out.
face, and you said, no, I didn't. What the are you talking about? And I
didn't
watched
punch
you lie. And then
I didn't punch you, by the way. I'm sorry that I didn't hit you across the face in a proper slap, but I was hitting you. It was not punching you. Babe, you're not punched.
Babe, you're not punched. I didn't punch you. I just threw my hand out at you in a closed fist to hit your face. That wasn't a punch.
Don't tell me what it feels like to be punched.
You know, you've been in a lot of fights. You've been around a long time. I know. Yeah.
Been around a lot of fights.
You didn't get punched. You got hit. I'm sorry I hit you like this.
Hit.
But I did not punch you. I did not deck you. I was hitting you. I don't know what the motion of my actual hand was, but you're fine. I did not hurt you. I did not punch you. I was hitting you.
How are your toes?
What am I supposed to do? Do this?
How are your toes?
I'm not sitting here about it, am I? You are. That's the difference between me and you. You're a baby.
You're a baby. You're a baby, Johnny Depp. I didn't punch you. I just hit you. But, you know, this is what's really gripping the nation. Did Johnny Depp get punched by his ex-wife? Did she shit in his bed? Find out more on the Lawyer channel or Court TV. Is it Court TV that they're putting all this shit out on? I don't know. It just kind of seems like this lady's like batshit crazy, and Johnny Depp was just like, you know what? The pussy is good, but the pussy is not that good. And I mean, if you're Johnny Depp, you could pretty much get any poontang that you want. You know, you just gotta walk down the road and throw a fucking rock, and when she turns around, she's gonna be like, oh, it's Johnny Depp. I'll let him hit me again. Anyways, I mean, literally, this is the reality of the world that we're living in. Like, where people that were in movies and shit are now in courtrooms with cameras on it, and everybody cares about all this shit so much because this is how far that we've digressed or devolved as human beings. But the real question is have we actually devolved or regressed, or is this just like how we've always been? And this is what really people care about. And the reality may shock you is because this is what people carry on about. I mean, bathroom incidences and what's happening in the house and who's hitting who and all that other crap, and then who lied about what, or I didn't hit you but I smacked you, it's different, I didn't mean to punch you, even though they punched him. So I mean, with seeing that, and that's the news that's getting everybody in the jimmies, I guess the next thing to look at is well, there's this other guy, they called him Orange Man Bad for a while. His name was Donald J. Trump, and he got apparently absolutely destroyed on Piers Morgan and ran out of an interview. Let's take a look. Ooh.
Hey, Piers, I'm ready.
A former president in denial.
I'll be completely straight with you to your face.
I think I'm a very honest man. Much more honest than you, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
It was a free and fair
Yeah.
match. You lost.
Only a fool would think
You
that.
think I'm a fool?
I do now.
Yeah, I
Excuse
think you're a
me.
fool.
With respect,
The
you haven't
legislature-
produced the hard evidence.
Excuse me.
The most explosive interview of the
I
year.
don't think you're real. It's
I realise
just
I'm not like-
very
I
dishonest.
just-
Let's finish up the interview.
Morgan versus
Turn the
Trump.
camera up. Very dishonest.
Very dishonest. Very dishonest. Man, very dishonest. Yeah, right now, the left side of Twitter and all the leftists are going ape banana bullshit over Donald Trump walking out of an interview with Piers Morgan. Do we really know why he walked out of the interview? Of course we don't know why he walked out of the interview, but God, bros, it seems like there is a real thing happening here with this particular thing. And wait, what was this? Trump releases audio that appears to refute the claim that he walked out of the interview over 2020 questions. Wait, what? Trump had audio? The former president's communication director released audio that shows reports that Trump had stormed off in response to questions about his election claims were inaccurate. Wait a minute, what do you mean? They lied? No. They couldn't have been lying about that. I literally seen every leftoid on Twitter going doot doot doot, freaking out about all this shit. But wait a minute, it was all poppycock bullshit. What? Yeah, NBC News appears to show what former President Donald Trump's highly publicized interview with Piers Morgan did not end with Trump storming off set as edited in the promotional clips that suggested. Instead, according to the recording, which was provided by the Trump spokesperson, the two men thanked each other and laughed at the conclusion of the interview. A subsidiary of Rupert Murdoch's News Corp has reported. Wait a minute. So, did they put out some fake news on some fake news, or did he really walk out of the interview and they just cut it together like that to make it seem like it was going to be good so all the Goombas would actually get out there and start talking some shit? Is that what is happening? I mean, it makes you really wonder, doesn't it? Makes me wonder.
Welcome back. Tonight, I'm obsessed with the interview President Trump gave during his visit to London this morning. The president sat down with a former Celebrity Apprentice victor and now British TV host Piers Morgan. And they talked about a wide range of subjects, including climate change, which the president would not admit is real.
Do you personally
Is climate change real, though?
believe in climate change?
I believe that there's a change in weather, and I think it changes both ways. Don't forget, it used to be called global warming. That wasn't working. Then it was called climate change. Now it's actually called extreme weather.
Yeah, we're confused too. Weather changes both ways, whatever that means. Then there was...
What do you mean, whatever that means? Weather obviously changes both ways. It can be hot or cold. Hello? You know, you guys are totally cool with people changing genders so they go both ways, and you're not cool with the weather going both ways? What kind of fucking hypocritical bullshit is that? Shit.
His dust up with Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex, over whether he did or didn't call her nasty, which he actually did say on tape.
So what happens is they talked about nasty, but we were talking about nasty. She was nasty to me, and that's okay for her to be nasty. It's not good for me to be nasty to her, and I wasn't.
Did you
And
get
in
a chance to talk to
I
her?
think she's doing very well.
Well, after denying saying the word nasty, I think he said it like 6 times in that sentence.
She's
But anyway,
nasty.
I'm still confused. And then there was the matter of the USS John McCain.
Here's the thing. I'm not even sure. First of all, I didn't know anything about it, but I'm not even sure it happened. Somebody said they're painting the ship, and they had the tarpaulins, and they're
C1 Sterling, if you're tired of being a guy and you want to be an alien, all you gotta do is start being an alien, motherfucker. It's 2022 and shit. You can decide whatever the hell you want to be, bro. I identify personally as a god and a reincarnation of some of the greatest people on earth just because I love myself like that.
painting
See
the
how that
ship,
works?
and they have tarpaulins
You can be
all over
whatever
the
you
place.
want.
I have no idea if it happened or not. I hear
Be
it's
a
fake
Patch
news,
Tech helicopter
but
if you want
maybe
to.
it is, maybe it isn't.
Congratulations.
The painting thing is new to us here. Let's be clear. The U.S. military confirmed that it was a White House staffer that made the request for the ship to be kept out of sight during the president's recent visit. Mick Mulvaney came on the show and said it. Anyway, I didn't even get to the part where Mr. Trump said nobody knew about Vietnam during the Vietnam War.
Nobody knew about Vietnam during the Vietnam War. They only knew that it was bad. Yeah. So this is the other thing that's getting pushed around, and it's, to me, kind of funny because you would expect NBC News to be way more against the president and not trying to walk back everything that was talking about this explosive interview that they cut together to make it look like Trump walked off set. Nice. That's the news media for you guys. It's all just an incestuous playground of dipshits doing all kinds of doofy things. Yeah, doofy. I said doofy because these fools are doofy. Doofy douchebags. But hey, it's all right, you know. Piers Morgan, he wanted to get in there and get his shots in on the Trumpster, but we'll have to see in like 6 months to really understand like how bad it's probably going to go for him for taking that little stride on forward, because it doesn't make a whole lot of sense that these folks are still going after the same guy over and over and over again. Why do they hate Trump so much? I mean, they got the country back and they're ruining it just like they wanted it to. Why they gotta be such bitches? That's the thing. Like, do they just identify now as bitches? I don't know. I am still trying to understand how all of these new things that I don't understand work. Because, you know, I'm too busy playing Star Citizen or doing work to even care. I mean, shit, dude. You want to be Donald Trump, dude? I identify as Donald Trump. Bam! There you go, dude. You know, go to the fucking doctor, get you some of them Trumpstrogen or whatever the fuck they're going to start calling that shit in the future. You could be whatever you want. You could be whoever you want. Just be it. You want to be a dude? Be a dude. You want to be a chick? Be a chick. Nobody's stopping you. People might make fun of you. That, I thought, was the social contract involved with, you know, being a human being. If you decide that you want to do some crazy shit that goes against the norm, people are not going to understand it and make fun of you. You can't just litigate them out of existence and say that, oh, well, you know what? You have to accept me. You have to accept me. because I'm you and we're one and we're all the same. It's like what they were saying. Everybody is part of a single unified being and we're all just co-creating and co-experiencing each other as one being, separated into many. Yeah. Or something like that. I don't know. I probably wrote that on one of them woo-woo websites. You know, I'm Catholic, so, you know, obviously there's one God. He's not me, and I'm a piece of shit. That's all I know, but I believe in Jesus Christ, so I will be saved, even though I'm a piece of shit. Which to me is all right, you know? Like, I don't give a shit about any of the other things. Anybody can say whatever. You're Nancy. You're racist. You're fat. You're ugly. You don't get enough pussy. Any of that stuff. Don't care about you. Why? Because Jesus said it was all right. Because he was like, look, dude, I'm Jesus. I didn't get tons of pussy neither. And I got fucking crucified. But guess what? I'm the son of God. So all these other motherfuckers can suck my pee-pee. Which is cool, you know? Like, I respect it, man. Who wouldn't want to be the one in true? Who wouldn't want to be that guy, the only son of God? I would be that guy. I mean, I don't really want to get fucking crucified, but you know what? Probably gonna still get crucified, but that's okay, you know. Maybe I won't. I made it past. I'm actually older than Jesus could have ever possibly have been, according to the story. So that's pretty good for me. That's pretty good for me. Pretty good for me. But you know what? If you ask Jesus, would he say a boy could be a girl and a girl could be a boy? Because I don't think that he would have said that, but he would have still loved them and been like, all right, you crazy little motherfucker. You could be whatever you want. It's all right. You're just going to have to worry about all them freakazoids out there that aren't going to understand. Try to kill you or something. Just the way that life works, little chap. Just wait till like 2022 and then you'll be able to be yourself and be freaky as fuck and nobody's gonna give a shit. Yep. Uh-oh. I'm Donald Trump by day and I'm Batman by night. I'm Batman. So you see how that works? It's called LARPing. You know, LGBTQ just have, you know, they've infiltrated the LARP sect of the world, and they've understood that, you know, oh, so you just make up whatever you want, and then, you know, people just have to accept it because that's how life works. You could, okay, seems pretty simple actually, kind of ridiculous. Seems like it's gonna create a lot of problems, but you know what? This is the way that they want to go with. I'm Batman. I'm not the Batman. I'm not Robert Pattinson. Okay, I'm Batman. I'm Batman. Batman. Fucking love Batman. Jen Psaki. Teachers should talk with kindergartners if they're a girl or a boy.
Don't parents have a right to have concern? I mean, we're talking specifically here about teaching about sex in kindergarten through third grade. I have to say, as a parent, I would have problems with that.
But the law is not about teaching sex education. It's about teaching about gender identity. And so what do you do if a parent or a kid, should I say, a kid in one of these elementary schools says, what about Sally? Sally has two moms, or I'm not sure if I'm a girl or a boy. I mean, these are kids who are experiencing, these moments in their lives. I also think that there's not a big record of there being either sex education or extensive gender identity education in these schools. And this is creating a problem or a political cudgel about an issue that I don't think exists.
Don't parents have...
Oh, there was a lot to unpack there. So wait, you don't think that a kid has ever been like, I'm a boy? How do you figure out if you're a boy? Well, you take the front of your pants, you open them up like this so you can see down, and then you look down, and then you ask yourself, do I have a little dinghy and some balls, or do I have the other thing? And then that's how you figure out if you're a boy or a girl. Oh, well, I have the parts for a boy, so I guess that means that I'm a boy. I don't really see some, like, young child being all like, well, you know what? Let's just go ahead and chop this whole fucking thing off and make me into the other thing. You know, that's probably not the first thing in their lives, but either way, like, gender identity is definitely in the realm of sexual things, right? Like, you don't talk about having sex with children. That's been like a thing for as long as I can remember. And I read this book one time called The Bible, and it talked about how you're not supposed to be doing that shit either. Because, there's this thing called morality, right? Human consciousness requires morality in order to keep the thing moving forward. Because if not, we would just all devolve into crazy serial killers murdering each other, and then the human race would never move forward. I mean, it's just very strange to me that these are the people that are making the choices or attempting to make the choices for you. Because remember, they're not talking to you and telling you what's going on anymore. They're telling you what you're supposed to think and what you're supposed to know. And, this is what Jen Psaki's doing. She's like, yeah, no, kindergarten teachers need to be able to talk about sex with children. And it's not about sex, but it is about sex. So, figure it out or whatever. If a kid needs to know if they're a boy or a girl, well, guess what? It's a little more complicated than that. It's all about gender identity and being dissociated from yourself. What did the Bible teach everyone? Oh, it generally taught you that you should love and accept yourself for who you are, no matter what you are. Which is really weird now that we have this whole other group of people that are basically utilizing the almost exact same doctrine, only in a reverse way, where they're telling you have to accept me for who I am, no matter what I am, or no matter what I decide I am that day. Do you see the difference? It's a slight difference, but other than that very slight difference, it's exactly the same thing. It's the morals and not morals. And if you look at it, this all goes back down to that whole Sodom and Gomorrah, Babylon, where everything seems to always go down and get all kerfuffled when you allow people like this to basically do whatever it is they want. Sure, you can let people do whatever they want, but even if that is the case, it's like, this is only the manifested reality that these individuals have while they exist within the borders of the United States. If they escape to another country, they could be met with absolutely completely different ways of life. And do you think that they're going to be able to force their ideology onto somebody else? And the answer is probably no. It's a definitive no. And there's still countries out there in the world that won't accept you no matter what the fuck you say. So try to get that through your head, or try to get that through your understanding, because they're trying to push everybody from the United States, and they think eventually they'll be able to swell it to all of the world, not realizing that there's definitely going to be bloodshed over these thoughts and ideals that they have. And I think that the majority of us that are living in the real world realize that this is not a battle that anybody should be trying to take. I mean, you don't need to talk to your kids about sex when they're so small. If they ask you, you can give them various different answers that change over time, but that's up to the parents. It's always been up to the parents. I don't think that my kindergarten teacher ever decided to talk about sex with me. God, I hope not. I mean, I don't even remember that even being a thing until we had sex ed, like in 5th, 6th grade. So there's a strangeness that's happening here. It's like they're trying to make children older because they want to use them as child slave labor or something like that. Or maybe because they're just into having sex with children, so they're trying to indoctrinate them. And then it takes you back into some stuff like this because, the Washington Post seems to be on it. And who's in charge of the Washington Post? Vis-a-vis Jeff Bezos with his little micropene, according to his wife. Why does wife lead him? It's because he was into some weird shit, like getting blood poison shit? I don't know. But maybe I do. Do you remember this thing?
And non-offending maps, by definition, do not abuse children, so their behaviors are moral. But they're still being subjected to this same idea that they're bad people. And non-offending maps, by definition, do not abuse children, so their behaviors are moral.
Yeah. Maps just want to do something really, really bad, but you know what? They haven't done it, so they're still moral people. Yeah, I'm sure that really... I could make some mental gymnastics happen in my head to probably make that okay if I wanted to, but I don't. But remember, these are the types of people that our friends over at the Washington Post defend, and it kind of makes you really wonder about where this country is headed. You know, takes into perspective all those times you saw Joe Biden kissing a child's head and being all like, is there something more there? Is there a little weirdness that's going to be happening out there? That's why people call it a groomer culture, is because if they're going after children younger and younger and trying to indoctrinate them into counter ideology to their parents, they're going to create issues in the home to the point where these kids are trying to run away. And then whose arms are they going to run into? Oh, right. Those predators. I forgot. You know, it's like they might not see what they're doing, but that's okay. It's up to the rest of us to take that moral high ground, because as a matter of fact, you still have it. You know, every time they try to take the high ground, they're at the very bottom of the ditch throwing dirt on themselves, and they're like, yeah, we got the high ground, and you're standing on the top of the hole looking down at it and be like, seriously though? You had the high ground? Yeah, I'm down at the bottom of this hole standing on a pile of dirt. I have the high ground. That's the way that you should probably look at it or see it or whatever, because it's strange, man. It's strange what they're trying to do to us. Yes. And what's this?
Of focusing on what works. And I think we recently had a conversation about Mitch McConnell. And why does he do what he does? Because it works. It's the political reality. And I worry that in covering Glenn Youngkin and his politics of parental choice, all the focus was on how well it worked. And even in our conversations about DeSantis, it's about how well they're serving him. The truth is, dehumanization as a tactic for politics is from war. Dehumanization is it's a tactic. It's being used right now. The Russians get their soldiers to rape children by dehumanizing them. Dehumanization as a practice is a tactic of war. It's being deployed in our politics, and people like you and I sometimes lose the plot and admire its effectiveness, not its substance.
Interesting. Dehumanization is a tactic in politics and war. Huh. So it's almost like they're trying to dehumanize us for not accepting all of these things that they're into and utilizing coded language to try to get people to sway to their persuasion. I see. It's all been about dehumanizing you, making you wear a mask, making you get jabbed, saying it's for the good of the country, but in reality, it's just to make you pliant. It's just to make you weak. It's just to control you, which is not really off base when you really start to think about it, because, like, you look at these people, this person's crying about how maps are being dehumanized because they want to have sex with children, but don't. Think about it. Just in, the CDC has requested the DOJ appeal and reinstate the mask mandate. Yep, it happened. And those bots over at CNN are like, hey guys, the CDC asked the DOJ to make the appeal for them. So, y'all shouldn't be celebrating too much because y'all are gonna be masked up and vaxxed up before you fucking know it, bro. So, wow. Kind of strange when you really think about that in a lot of ways, because if you listen to what they're talking about, it's like they're talking about dehumanizing people. They're talking about all kinds of stuff. And at the same time, you got guys like this dude celebrating the DOJ being asked to appeal the transportation mask mandate, which was ruled to be unconstitutional by someone in Florida. Damn, Florida seems to be really on point right now. They're like always doing some pretty, next level shit, if you ask me. So I find it all to be highly strange when they make their celebrations on things of this nature. Even more so, think about it this way. Remember good old woke Disney? Well, the Florida Senate just voted 23-16 and passed legislation ending Disney's tax privilege self-governing power and special exemption status that they've enjoyed for basically the entire time that they've ever been in Florida. So what does that mean for Disney? It means no more making all the rules for themselves. It means that they're now going to be governed by the legislature in Florida. Oh boy. Because, they used to get really nice tax breaks because, they were the ones that were making sure that they had firefighters and ambulances and their own little prison inside of Walt Disney World if you got yourself out of hand. And now they lose all of that. Now they're going to have public police paid for by Florida. No longer will they be able to hide things inside their little web of mysteries, because imagine how hard it would be to be in charge of something in that town of Disneyland or Disney World. Think about it this way. They had the ability to self-govern themselves and make decisions for themselves, and now they don't have it. So it's kind of strange because it's got to pass the House vote on Thursday, and if it makes it through that, well, you damn well know that good old Governor DeSantis is going to be out there changing it. So let's take a listen to Byron Pitts and how he feels about the situation.
Governor Ron DeSantis' plan to remap some of his state's congressional districts will increase the number of Florida Republicans elected to Congress for many years to come. The governor says it's fair. His critics say the plan discriminates against people of color because it will become harder to elect black candidates.
We want our district to stay the way it is, and unless you ask us what we want, then don't touch it.
Then don't touch it. But yes. Now it's going to be really, really interesting to see how Disney takes it on the chin, because they think that they're untouchable, and they just found out that all it takes is just a little bit of willpower for one politician, and their whole little house of cards could come crumbling down. And, it makes me think about all those Disney employees that get arrested for shit outside of Disneyland, for going after children and stuff. And then it makes me wonder, how many times did it happen inside the park, and then Disneyland was in charge of the entire place with all their special taxes and their self-governing power? And I wonder how Disney handled that shit when they found it in the park. I guess we'll find out here real soon. Now, won't we? No, that's right. I think that we're really going to have to worry about that one. Yep. Did you guys hear earlier today that a parachute demonstration at a Nationals game triggered false alarm evacuations at the United States Capitol? Not making that up, dude. That's a real fucking thing. That's a real fucking thing that happened. People were talking about it. Capitol Police were tweeting about it. The Capitol was evacuated out of an abundance of caution this evening. There was no threat at the Capitol. More details to come. Just in, Capitol issues alert. Evacuate now. Aircraft intrusion. Huh. Wow. Did nobody tell them that there was a Nationals game where some dude was going to be parachuting out and they had to fly a plane low so that he could parachute? Like, nobody... Did we forget about that? Did they forget to file... They forgot to file a little paper or something like that? Why'd they need to clear out the freaking complex of the Capitol? Were some people working on some stuff? Did some dude sneak in there and start stealing Nancy Pelosi's laptop again and shit? Downloaded booty pics? I don't know. But it was all having to do with the United States Army paratrooper jumping out of a plane, and they evacuated the goddamn Capitol because of this plane, which was most likely undoubtedly one of our planes that they knew about, but I guess nobody got the memo. Yeah. I guess nobody got the memo. They were just triggered as fuck. They just left. They're like, no, man, evacuate this motherfucker. Some crazy shit is happening. It's some crazy shit, you guys. I don't know what's gonna happen. Maybe it's just because the gig is up, because, Biden has strung together 3/4 of dangerously low approval ratings, and he's going to be going into a couple of more places with some dangerously low approval ratings. I mean, who are they going to put in this dude's place? He says he's running again, but he's obviously not living in reality like all of his friends. So what's he really going to do? I don't know. But I think this is how we get Hillary Clinton. I think this is how we get Hillary Clinton. Or at least this is how we get Bernie Sanders running again for a third presidential run. But apparently that's only going to be happening if Biden doesn't seek re-election, which is kind of looking like maybe he shouldn't, but we know he's a dumbass, so Brendan is definitely going to be seeking re-election. But there's Bernie Sanders. He's already throwing his hat back up into the ring. Yeah, Bernie, maybe you could get it, or maybe he's just trying to get another house. Who do we really know? But who is that? Is that Ron Paul right there, dude? Who the fuck is that? Walking with him. It makes me sad. Makes me wonder. Can you wait, dude? We should amplify LGBTQIA+++ and the CRT voices to the front. Okay, we can do that. Oh my God, not like that. Wah! What's this? Janet Yellen and other finance ministers walk out of the G20 meeting as Russia speaks. Yes, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen coming out strong by walking out of the room when her boy Putin walks in, because they're not going to listen to that genocider, that awful man, that evil, evil person. And I'm like, yo, Janet Yellen, haven't you been photographed shaking hands with Putin? How come you didn't just fucking take him out back then, huh? How come you didn't just put your knife hand up and just punch him in the throat, break his windpipe so he's just like, where's that? How come you weren't sneaking in a shank and giving him the old chop chop? Oh, but yeah, walking out, that's really gonna stop some shit. Good job, G20. Walk out on Russia. Fuck those Russians. Yeah. But hey, Janet, can you tell us more about how inflation's going to be going up? How much is inflation going up anyway? Is it 17%? Is it 3%? Is it 8%? Is it 12%? I don't know. Is it double whatever y'all are saying? I don't know, but you will know pretty soon when things start costing twice as much as they already are. Woo! 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 Remember, guys, it's not about science. It's always been about power.
Well, we are entirely able to and legally able to be a part of the discussion, but right now we of course are deferring to the CDC on what they believe is needed at this moment. They obviously put in place this 2-week extension because they felt they needed that to take a look at the data, given that we've seen a rise in cases. So we certainly anticipate to hear more from them soon on their ask for being able to have that time, which we think is entirely warranted. And the Department of Justice, as you noted, has indicated that they would appeal, not just because they think it's entirely reasonable, of course, to have this additional time to look at it, but because they think that the current and future public health crises, we want to preserve that authority for the CDC to have in the future. Well, we are.
Yes. We just want to be able to approve the authority the CDC has. Even though they were using authorities they most definitely did have, we want to still make sure that in the future we can lock you all down and shut you down over a little bit of microscopic bug and shit again and, completely upend your lives. Like, we feel like we're going to need at least one more of these before we can fully enact the Build Back Better plan to its max and, get, like, Klaus Schwab all together so that you guys can own nothing and be happy about it. Yeah. It's going to be great, Jen Psaki. Thanks for that. Thanks for that, babe. Thanks. 49-year-old doxer visits your relatives, is not a journalist, literally no skills, has Twitter PTSD, lies about age, cries out when she doxes you, and democracy dies in the docs. Yeah, I already own basically nothing to feed reader. We're both in it together. I mean, I could have been a Bitcoin millionaire, but you know what? I said fuck all that. You know why I said fuck all that? Because I'm the best man that's ever lived. And once you find out the truth about everything, you're just going to be like, God damn, he's the greatest man who ever lived. Well, at least maybe one of the greatest Manuels. Maybe not the greatest. There's probably been other greater Manuels. But right now, I feel that I'm viewed by society in a very uninteresting light. But one of these days, I'm going to be as cool as Taylor Lorenz and have my fucking URL excluded from the Wayback Machine so people can't be pulling up old shit that I said and doxing me and shit like that, because that would not be good for my career over at the Washington Post. Jeff Bezos wouldn't be happy with me. He would not. He would not. In other news, that illustrious fellow Alec Baldwin murdered a lady in cold blood allegedly, and now New Mexico is fining the film company over that Alec Baldwin shooting, citing that there was some violations that had happened. There was some violations, and to the tune of $137,000 they'll be having to pay for their little snafu that happened over on the Russ set. The one that Alec Baldwin maintains that he's not liable for because he was asked to shoot the gun at the lady and stuff. And he thought that the gun was loaded, even though he didn't even follow basic firearm safety to make sure that he checked that it was. It's like a reverse of what happened to Brandon Lee in The Crow, because everybody was like really tore up about that whole situation, and we should have fixed this problem, but apparently we did it, and Alec Baldwin's still trying to get away with murder, but at least that little company that was out there is out having to worry about that shit. And did you hear that Hillary Clinton is moving once again to try and shut down that Trump lawsuit? And they're contending that the former president's sprawling racketeering case is meritless, and they asked it to be dismissed with prejudice. And this is already after that they asked for it to be dismissed with prejudice. And guess what? It's probably not going to be, because you know what? Hillary Clinton can't be running for 2024. Somebody's got to save the fucking Democrats, Joe Biden, before everything goes belly up. But yes, Hillary Clinton thinks that she's going to be able to shut down that epic lawsuit with all of her lawyer friends by simply saying that it's entirely baseless, without merit, 100%, and is nothing more than a publicity stunt. Even though, I don't know if you live in the same reality that I lived in, but we've been talking about this for years, and it's definitely pretty clear that they did some illegal shit and worked with foreign organizations to create a lie and to destroy, Donald Trump that was proven to be a lie. And, if it was proven that it was a lie, then shouldn't he be allowed to sue her ass into the ground for lying about him being in bed with Russia? And I mean, shit, his reputation was seriously damaged by that. Like, to this day, people in my family are like, well, Trump was colluding with Russia, and now this is what Russia's doing. And I'm like, excuse me, that was 100% a lie made up by the Hillary Clinton campaign, and all the evidence is out there in the public. I'm sorry that you watch the mainstream media. It must suck to be that stupid. But hey, you just don't go see your family that often, because you just know that they're not as educated as you. They don't have the same amount of time to go watch TV and figure all this shit out. So you just gotta leave them be. You just leave them be. You let them do what they're gonna do. And hey, you know what? It's only 5 years of bullshit, right? It's a publicity stunt. You gotta cancel this. The Clinton Foundation and Hillary Clinton can't survive if this is the thing. But I guess we'll just have to see if it's actually gonna go down like that. Because right now, what do we really know about the sitch? What's the real sitch on this sitch, if you ask me on the sitch? Well, to me, it seems pretty simple. Hillary Clinton is freaking out. And I don't think that this is going to go away. If it does, I mean, whoever the judge is that's dismissing the case is going to be very interesting. Very interesting. And with that, that's pretty much it today for episode 12. What did we learn? Well, we learned that Amber Heard shits in beds and lies about dogs with it. Johnny Depp seems to have gotten punched by her, and that's pretty cool. Donald Trump walked out of a Piers Morgan interview, but then he actually didn't. Taylor Rentz is still a big old poopy head POS, 49-year-old elderly woman that lies about her age. That's fine. I guess that's just the way it goes nowadays. I mean, really, we see every single day that the news media is further falling into the source of ill repute. And at the same time, we're all just sitting here watching these mongoloids move forward with their insatiably stupid activities. And even more so, we did ask a question today of you. And we asked you, are you feeling in charge today? 46 people voted, and a whopping 50% of you said, yes, I feel in charge. And a whopping 50% of you say, no, I do not feel in charge. And I ask you, I didn't say what you were in charge of. I just asked you if you were in charge. And if you answered no to that situation, are you not in charge of yourself? And you may ask yourself, why? And for all of you that are in charge, well, take that charge and make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, hit that follow button, share this with your friends. I know you're not going to do it anyway, but I still have to ask because that's what us cocksuckers over at YouTube have to do. We got to beg you for everything. So I'm begging for you to please hit the button. And if you don't want to hit the button, that's totally fine. I understand. I know what I look like, okay? I know what I look like. I know what this show's like. So, that's pretty much it. So, I hope you guys have a beautiful day. Enjoy yourselves out there and whatever you're going to do today or tonight or whatever time this is for you. And I guess I'll just see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully, we'll have some more interesting crap to talk about. And if not, you might not see me. Usually, if you don't see me, it's because I didn't think that there was anything in the news worth a shit talking about, or I'm working. One of the two. And either way, I still have to have a job because this is obviously not paying the bills. So, much love to you. I hope you have a good day. And remember, keep your Glock cocked.
Got my Glock cock, 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 got my Glock, got my Glock, got my Glock cock, got my Glock, got my Glock, got my Glock cock, got my Glock, got my Glock, got my Glock cock, got my Glock cock. Got my Glock cock, got my Glock cock, got my Glock cock, got my Glock cock.